Good evening. I'd like to call the City of Mount Vernon City Council meeting to order for January 24th, 2024. Time is now 7:01. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, item C on the agenda tonight is the roll call of council members. I'd like to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Beaton?
Here.
Councilmember Brocksmith?
Here.
Councilmember Correas?
Here.
Councilmember Hudson?
Here.
Councilmember Molinar?
Here.
Councilmember Tercero?
Here.
Councilmember Vanderstoop?
Here.
Thank you, Becky. Item 2 is adoption of tonight's agenda, council. This is maybe a little newer step for us, but it's important for the clerk to record at each of our meetings that we're all clear on what the agenda will be. So I would ask if there is a motion to adopt tonight's city council agenda.
So moved. Second.
A motion by Mary, a second by Melissa. All those in favor of approving adopting the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. And the motion passes. Item 3 tonight is community comments. The city invites in-person comments at city council meetings. Additionally, the public may address city council by email. Those email addresses can be found on the city website, on the city council page. Before we get to our in-person comments, I did want to pass along one email that was addressed to council, because this one was from former city council member Juan Morales. Former council member Morales writes, Mayor Donovan, city staff, and city council, congratulations on the recent grant award from the Federal Department of Transportation. City residents are proud of your efforts in getting this great investment across the finish line. Thank you for everything you all do. The efforts of the city and city officials do not go unnoticed. Kind regards, Juan Morales, city resident, he signed. So thank you, former council member Morales, for that. It was a nice note. And thank you also for your participation, past council's participation in all of those efforts. So now I will ask if there's anyone present that would like to address city council. Any public comments tonight? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 4, the consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda includes council minutes, payroll checks, wire transfers, claims, and an agreement for public defense services. Would council like to move for adoption of tonight's consent agenda?
I'll move for adoption. Second.
Motion by Melissa, second by Iris. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of adopting the motion to approve the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by saying no. The motion passes. All right, moving on to reports. We have a Finance and Parks and Enrichment report from our committee chair, Councilmember Mary Hudson.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's meeting started at 6 o'clock. First item is always the approval of our past meeting minutes from October 25th. We haven't met as a committee for a little bit of time, so those were approved. First presentation was from Director Berner of our Parks and Enrichment Services. Lots of information and good stuff to share. First thing we had was a PROS plan update, and PROS stands for Park Recreation and Open Space Plan. It provides a 6-year guide for managing parks and enrichment services, and the state has certified it, making the city eligible for state RCO grants. We reviewed the steps that have gone into building the plan, assessment of the inventory of all our parks, trails, and open space property, updated the city's demographics, a lot of community engagement, outreach survey that went out fairly early, youth specific survey that went out to junior high and high school students with 743 people answering that, or kids answering that, so that's very important. A lot of other engagement that they did in our community. They've done a capital project review. They talked about implementation and funding strategies, and now to the plan review and approval. So what's happening in January will be the reviewed draft, and all required elements are covered in the plan. February it goes to a public hearing at the Planning Commission, and then March it will come for a public hearing here at City Council, and then depending on if we approve, it will send to RCO, or Recreation and Conservation Office, the state, for final approval. So that covers the pros plan, pretty much. We also did receive, an RCO, deferred maintenance grant last year, which was really great because there was $5 million budgeted in this grant. There was 19 million requested from many, organizations. We were awarded $99,300, which is what we asked for, so we're very excited about that and very happy and proud of our Parks Department for securing that grant. We went through some ideas on, or what they're gonna do with that money, so it's all good and necessary, and it'll be broken down into phases basically now through June-ish, I think, and then after that, we'll do more of the things that we need warm weather for, like painting courts, et cetera. We're gonna talk now about the Hillcrest and Edgewater Park field renovation updates. The Parks Department, their crew, has installed an irrigated, or working on the irrigated soccer field at Hillcrest Park, and some renovation going on at the combination soccer and baseball field at Edgewater Park. Hillcrest Park field will be open, hopefully, if everything aligns and the weather cooperates, later this summer. New sod, et cetera. New trees will be planted, for everybody who's asked about that question. New trees will be planted, and then work on the Edgewater field will start this summer. The Illuminate Winter Walk is this Friday. It's at 5 o'clock. It starts at the Riverwalk Plaza. It has a new route this year. It will go down First Street, so don't try to drive down First Street about 5 to 7 or so, but it'll be blocked off and obvious to those. The weather's supposed to cooperate, not supposed to have rain. We're crossing our fingers. So it's the 10th anniversary of this event, so it's pretty exciting, and we hope a lot of you will come out and take advantage of the nice weather and seeing some really great lanterns that people create. Then we got a brief on the spring and summer recreation programming, and it's already underway. Some new programs, a lot of the usual favorites will be coming back. One of the new things we're gonna do this year is a bird watchers club, because there's a lot of people in this community that enjoy looking at and identifying birds. We're gonna do the Touch a Truck event, which will be, anybody who likes to look at big farm equipment or big trucks, fire engines, all that kind of stuff, this is the thing for you. And then it's also the Hillcrest Park's 100-year anniversary, and we'll be having a celebration. What's returning this year is the outdoor nature camps, the supervised playground, Rec on the Go, and the wilderness survival camp, which is, I believe, where you learn what to eat if you're stuck out in the woods. So eat a bug or a leaf or something, and they will show you what you need to do. You can find all this information on our website at www.mountvernonwa.gov/parks. You can find all this information at your fingertips. The next portion of our meeting was by Doug Valesky, our finance director. He gave us a Audit 101 crash course, because we do have an audit every year from the state auditor's office. So he talked about what types of audits, provided draft information regarding the outcome of the 2022 audit. It still has not been finalized, but a tentative exit conference is scheduled for next Tuesday, so we're just waiting for that confirmation to come through. Then Doug gave us the Mount Vernon Library Commons financial update. So we're, obviously, I know you most have heard, but we did get $12.5 million grant from the federal community charging program, and it was spearheaded by Representative Rick Larson. So we're excited about that. And Doug talked about some of the decisions that we need to make now regarding the amount of the TIFIA loan, which we've been talking about for quite a long time, overall project costs and city used revenue sources. And we talked some more, obviously we talked a lot more about TIFIA loan. There will be more discussions coming with council as we dive into now having this lovely grant, possibly more to come. So lots of opportunities for the city. And the final thing was a draft report on the 2023 sales tax revenues. As of the end of December, the city received $9,994,929 in sales tax. We almost made 10 million. That was our goal. We were so close. It's a 4% increase over the 22 amount and almost 800,000 over 2023. And I would just like to say, if Mark, my former council member friend, Mark Holst is watching, he would be very excited about that number, because that was one of the things he always talked about, was the sales tax revenue. So it was very, very good news. We had nothing for good of the order, so we adjourned at 6:59.
Thank you, Mary. Former Councilmember Holst, if you're watching, feel free to write that $5,000 check to put us over the $10 million limit. Item C tonight is the mayor's report, and we will once again start off with a Mount Vernon Library Commons construction update. A couple of pictures on your screen right now. The one on the left is exterior brick cladding and structural steel installation that continues in progress. Some of the steel that you see there is for the solar array on the south end of the building, so that's where those, you'll see a lot of panels going up there someday soon, and those panels will power about up to 21% of the facility's needs, which is quite a bit when you consider how many EV charging stations there are there. On the right, the storefront systems have begun installation in the southeast corner and will continue at the other entrances over the next 2 weeks, so you'll see those as this building is starting to take shape. It's pretty exciting. In these next photos, the commercial kitchen areas installation and mechanical, electrical, plumbing, rough-in is nearly complete. A lot of work is in progress near the public restrooms and staff areas to get all of those things, mechanical, electrical, plumbing systems, all roughed in. In the photo on the right, you can see the main electrical gear installation is in progress in the first floor electrical room. And no photo yet, but the traffic coding that's applied to the ramps and the parking surfaces will begin installation on the second floor in the next few weeks. And then U.S. Congressman Rick Larsen and I, shown here playing dress up at the Library Commons construction site, had a chance to tour the Library Commons today. Congressman Larsen and his team met with me, and Library Director Isaac Huffman and former Mayor Jill Boudreau, who gave an update on the progress of the project. But more importantly, we took the opportunity to thank the Congressman for his support and his advocacy for the project. His work in Washington, D.C., really along with all of our entire congressional delegation, has literally landed over $18 million federal dollars for our local project, which is significant. And of course, much of the relational groundwork that paved the way for that funding began with Mayor Boudreau's connections with those state and federal legislators. So we continue to be grateful for all of the hard work that she's put into this project and continues to put in her new capacity. And finally, I'd like to invite you, thank you, Kevin, to join me in hundreds, several hundred, can I say thousands? Thousands of luminary-carrying members of our community at the 10th Annual Illuminate Winter Walk, which is taking place this Friday, January 26th, 5 o'clock at the Skagit River Walk Plaza. This is a free community event with live music, art, and a luminary-lit procession. So bring your own luminary, or you can make a paper bag luminary at Tri-D Arts before the event from 3 to 5. Again, this is this coming Friday. There will also be a limited number of luminaries available for purchase at the event. This is a fantastic event. Seeing dozens of these lanterns, these luminaries glowing and making their way down the Riverwalk and then down closed First Street downtown is awesome. So bundle up, come down and join us this Friday at 5 o'clock. That is your mayor's report for January 24th, 2024. Thank you, Kevin Rogerson. Agenda item D under reports is committee agenda requests. Council, do you have any agenda requests for future committee meetings?
I have one.
Yes.
I'd like us to take a look at our recycling program, take a look at its intended purpose. Are we being successful? Is it a customer-centric service that we can be proud of? And what does our future look like with
Okay.
recycling?
Got it.
Thank you.
Taking a look at our recycling program. Other committee agenda requests? Okay. Moving on to unfinished business. Item 6, there is no unfinished business tonight. New business, item 7, and for the first time in quite some time, there are no pressing items to bring to council tonight. I will note that City Council is planning to have a 5th Wednesday Committee of the Whole meeting on Wednesday, January 31st at 6 p.m. Council, thank you for sending me those items, and if you have more, please feel free to send those my way. We'll be putting that agenda together probably tomorrow. Item 8 tonight is adjournment, but prior to adjourning, I would like to ask City Attorney to please call the mayor and members of council into executive session.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd invite the mayor and members of City Council to enter into an executive session on the grounds of discussion with legal counsel, enforcement actions, litigation, or potential litigation to which the city, the governing body, or a member acting in an official capacity is or is likely to become a party when public knowledge regarding such discussions are likely to result in either adverse legal or financial consequence to the city pursuant to RCW 4230 subsection 110(1)(I), and moreover, to discuss issues related to collective bargaining sessions, including contract negotiations, grievance meetings, and discussions related to the interpretation or application of a labor agreement, or planning or adopting the strategy or position related to a collective bargaining, which is wholly exempt from the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to RCW 4230-140 subsection 4. Executive session shall last 25 minutes, which would bring us out of executive session at 7:43, I believe. No final action after.
Thank you, Kevin. Council, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Beaton, a second by Councilmember Vanderstoep. All those in favor of the adjourning the meeting tonight, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Tonight's City of Mount Vernon City Council meeting will adjourn into executive session at 7:18.